All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you had a wonderful day, and I hope you're ready because we have so much to talk about because the Fed is absolutely insane. Yeah, I'm breaking out the thumbnail right now. This right here, this is how the bond market looks right now. This is how the Fed futures look, and this is how every single Fed member looks like after the next one talks because it's so wild out here, man. We have so much to talk about. I got to put that down gently, and thank you to Xavier. He hooked me up with that one back in the day, but the point is we had big updates. Even the Fed futures today, they adjusted from pricing in a hike to now pricing in the pause again, and that is because two of the voting members today, they were advocating for a skip. So we have a lot to talk about. If you didn't see what happened, it was a wild day. This is when all of the Fed speakers were coming out, but beyond that, we had another day of gapping down. You had bad news out of China. That China recovery story is gone. China is actually in a bear market right now, but that was bad news in the morning. The job openings as well throughout the day. That's even where the bigger sell-off started to occur, but job openings went up by like 300,000. They even revised the last month's up by another 200,000. So this was a big deal. We'll talk about some of the data yesterday, but there was all of this weighing on the market. Then you had the news of the skip and the Fed futures going crazy, and now on top of it, we still got to deal with the debt ceiling a little bit. So it was overall wild. It was the end of the month rebalance. If you saw what happened at the close, and we'll talk about the level, but the final thing before we get into it, just take a look at where you are at over the last 2 weeks. This level is very important. And the crazy part about today, it is the end of May and we're ending up positive. But if you see here, we were within like a quarter point of touching the lows or break even of May. Pretty much at one point, the month of May almost went negative today if we pretty much stayed at the lows. So it's going to be wild. We have Powell in a couple of weeks. We still got more data on the way. And if you didn't see the earnings after the bell from AI all the way to CRM and then NVIDIA too, they had their own reaction, but it was crazy, Chad. So we got a lot to talk about. Drop that thumbs up on the video, and I hope I see you there in the morning. YouTube.com/thestock. It's free 99. I think I could go on there right now. Like, you guys, what do you think about the whole picture-on-picture thing? Again, if you guys don't know, see, I go here, but it's youtube.com/the-stock-market. Don't say the stock market, but if you ever just go to the channel and put /live, like, you'll see it, bro. Like, live every day, every single day. They think we're playing, man. It's every day. So I hope I see you there, okay? Good. God bless you. Good morning, good evening, good night. But let's talk about it. Let's jump to the keys. Again, let me know what you think about this whole picture-in-picture, but like we talked about yesterday, the sell the news continues, but now we are at an interesting level. So that's what I was just bringing up to you. If you don't see where we're at right now, I mean, this is the optimism level. This is what we were talking about the last couple weeks. Anytime we've gone above 41.78, the market was getting optimistic about the debt ceiling. Sadly, it was kind of the same setup, and that's why I think tomorrow is going to be very interesting because last week it was down till Wednesday. Thursday and Friday, you get above the optimism level, and then you did your thing. Same thing with the week before that, but why this level is important, because even if we go back a little prior, this was just the previous level towards where we started breaking out at the beginning of the year on the no landing and whatever else we went up on, right? But this is a pretty big level, so it's very interesting we're there. It's interesting on the day. It's borderline break even now, even for the month. So all of this is now compounding into it, and now here's the deal. We have data. We talked about the market is looking ahead for the non-farms, and you had some of that other data today that fed into that, but quite simply, we still got the debt ceiling on the table. So I do believe that you should watch the data, but now even where we stand today, the possibility of a downgrade or a default is still there, although it is much less likely than before, considering the progress that has already been made. So what we're looking at right now, they have the vote tonight, probably around the time you get this watch list a little later. We'll hear updates. Maybe they're assuming some room for errors, or maybe the first vote doesn't go through. But what the White House said today is that they're expecting that deal to be signed by June 5th max, or pretty much that's on Monday, next Monday after this weekend. So we're going to see how it all plays out, but that's where we are for now. And like we said, the market and a lot of people, they are already just looking ahead now to the jobs data and all of that. So that's key number one. But now key number two is the big development with the rate hike odds today. So what happened, the two voters today, Harker and Mr. Jefferson, they came out swinging for the skip. It's very different than the other Fed speakers who are non-voters that we heard from. I've been tripping out about this. I was saying it all day on stream because we heard from Loretta Mester, we heard from Bullard, you heard from, what was it, not Harker, the other one, Barkin, again, non-voters, and they all were like, no, my dot plot is higher, we're going to do this, we still think it's too early. They said, no, I think we should raise again, and we've been talking about it. The Fed futures were pricing in a rate hike. Even this morning, I'm telling you, this all happened right when they started speaking. So that's the crazy part about it, because like if you even see it on the day, like I think all the way up until this rally here is like 10:20. You could even go check out the Zaza, but the whole point is nothing moved until they started saying this. This was all new information. So you go back to the Fed futures, this was what was bouncing around, and it was simple. Compared to any of the other Fed speakers, these guys are the actual voters, and they were all advocating a skip, and they were saying, we want to skip, and then that implies that they would either raise again in July, or if the data confirms the reason why they skipped, then they could stop right there, and then that would be the official pause. Now, there was a good take. It was like Fed Guy 12. He's on Twitter, YouTube. One of the chats sent me this, and I agree with this one completely, and it's simple that it seems like the Fed right now is just trying to hammer home this idea of skip just in case. Like half of them are for it, half are against it, and it seems like they're doing it so that if they do pause, they don't want the markets to rapidly price in a rate cut like they've done every single other point throughout the year. So I thought that was interesting, but like I'm saying, we were expecting the jobs report to kind of start moving these Fed futures, or for the market to react. So this is a big development. Watch how this plays out as we get data tomorrow, but even into Friday, I think that's going to be the real key. So watch out for that one. And then finally, like we're saying, for tomorrow, you got jobless claims. You're even going to get an ADP report. I think there's also PMIs, and those could be a little bit more key, but as far as employment data, what you had today, that had the bigger impact, and it seems like what we're really waiting for now is Friday, and then we'll see where the bonds go and all of that. But it was a very interesting monthly end rebalance move. You know, usually end of the months, or like these big expirations are on Friday. You're getting this now middle of the week, Thursday, Friday. You saw, like, if you didn't see what Apple did right into the close, this is what we mean by like rebalance moves, because at the end of the day, if you were watching it, Apple just dropped $2. This was all before the bell even closed. There wasn't earnings. There wasn't anything like that. And then even Tesla, they started popping. So there was a lot of these. Even if you go look at some names, I'm sure you'll be surprised by the volume. It shows up there, but it was an interesting one. So now let's see if we get that out of the way into this week, into this data. It might be an interesting setup now at the optimism level, and pretty much where we started May after the end of April rally. So I hope you're ready, Chad, but let us get into the plays. So, right off the bat, I got 3 different plays for you. I have a play on both of these. We talked about the Broadcom play. That was the lotto ticket. Again, it just moves a lot of dollars. That's the phrase I've been saying right now. Moves a lot of dollars. Dollar for dollar, options, shares. If, $50 is $5,000 for every 100 shares. So, Broadcom just moves a lot. I think this one's a little bit worth it, especially in the mania. OKTA, they had earnings today. We missed. We put $100 down on a July spread there, but watch for the post earnings. I still like Broadcom. We're going to see how that plays out. They're different industries, but like I'm saying, both of these names just have a lot of upside and downside. Again, Broadcom was just at 900 from 600. I think OKTA is like $60 all the way up to like the higher or the lower 90s. So I like both of those. Going to watch how that played, but those are 2 little option plays we've made recently, so watch out for those. And then number 2, I went for the FOMO. I grabbed Intel, and this one is a hot take. This one's debatable, but I know I'm not the only one thinking it, and I think this is the only reason for the play. So there was like a little rumor that like NVIDIA was going to work with Intel. That's when it had the pop, but the fact that the stock was already up another 3%, even the market wasn't looking good in the morning, I said I had to take it because I'm just viewing it as the value chip play in all of the AI hype. Every AI name has ran up immensely after NVIDIA and all that. Intel had really bad earnings. It's not like they did good and deserve it, but they have not gotten involved on any of it. They're really, really down on the yearly chart. Pretty much, even if you look at the chips index or anything else, none of them really look this low. And again, there's reasons why. So I think it's like a really deep value play. Again, they cut their dividend. They did a lot of things this year with Intel. So you can see what I'm talking about there. But I liked it with all the AI stuff. I decided to go for it. I grabbed 200 shares. Got around $1 per share, which was nice, but let's see what happens. I think this play is purely swing it for AI hype. And then even Marvel, if you guys remember, we flipped that play, but that was the only other one besides NVIDIA that actually gave good guidance on the earnings. And now they're actually below their earnings price. So it's even actually below even where I bought it the day of earnings when we played it after hours. And I was even a little late on it. So that one's pretty wild. The chip hype is there, but it's not guaranteed, WB. It's not guaranteed. So watch out for that. That's play number 2. And then finally, play number 3, baby, CRM. Their earnings. Oh, man, why does this look so botched? But CRM, the earnings weren't that bad, but they focused a lot on profit and not on growth. So I think this is going to be an interesting one for tomorrow. It has a lot of dollars. Again, they've moved up a lot. If you trade, we traded this at the beginning of the year in like a 117 or like 120 to 130 to 116. It's actually wild how much CRM has moved. They were like the second one besides like Meta and NVIDIA that had all those crazy moves. So it's an interesting reaction from Wall Street. I think there could be more. Pretty much Wall Street bought them up, and CRM had that huge giant rally. That was all on the margin story and profitability. People were worried about it. Then they did the layoffs. They got the cost cutting. Remember, they made a lot of acquisitions. That's why it ran up so much. Again, this was a huge, huge run up there. But now at this earnings, they did good on the profits, their EPS, all of that. But on the conference call and guidance, they're focusing a lot on making profits and cutting costs and getting good profitability, and now the analysts are worried about the growth. So that's why I'm saying it's an interesting reaction, because everybody wanted the profitability. Now they've kind of confirmed that they're getting back on track, but now it's like, okay, I want my growth too now, and that's what I think is giving it a reaction. Otherwise, the earnings weren't bad, and that's why I think it's going to be a very interesting one to see tomorrow, so watch out for that. But that is play 3. I think that's actually all of them. Didn't make any other plays. Again, I made the OKTA on there, still holding MPW and some of the other recent ones again, and that's pretty much it, Bill. I'm holding over the month till tomorrow. Again, I'm putting confidence in where we're at now. We'll see how that ends up turning out tomorrow. And that's pretty much it. And let's see how we start out June, baby. And I hope you're ready, but that is your watch list, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure hydrate healthy, ready to go. Make sure you post your watch list. Make sure we see you there in the morning. I need the armor on. I need the helmet shining. I need you to remember, baby, you can't kill an idea. People can die, but ideas can't, and ideas are everything. That's it. If you got an idea, you got life. You see the darkness when you don't have ideas. So let's go, baby. I hope you're inspired. Keep thinking outside of the box. Keep getting ideas and stay in the game, Chad. You're already this far. You did not go this far to just come this far. That's what they said. Shout out Co-Real Estate today, baby. But Chad, that's it. I love you. Drink that water. I need water. I need water right now, too. There's good. Like I said, I've already asked you about the picture-in-picture. Now you see in the end of the day. I like it, though, because I can't, lean into the mic there. But I still am awkward on this. So I'm getting my water. Or should I end it? Is this... I'm conflicted. Horn.